What's going on, guys? Or one person's in the chat so far. That's pretty cool, I think. Maybe it's just me, though, looking at myself in the chat. How you guys doing? We are going to, attempt to do a live stream here today from the basement. Beercan Hunter here. And I'm waiting for a few of you guys to get in so we could get started. But I have a few things that I want to get to today. We're going to talk football, fantasy football. My draft is coming up this weekend, and I would love to get your input on the draft that I'm about. I'm the third pick in a 12-person team over here, or 12-person league. Let me get this going over here. Make sure my connection is connected. Okay, I'm connected over here, looking at my horrible face over here. And if you guys have any experience in fantasy football, I want to hear what you got to say, because really it's all about you guys in this thing. I need your input, and I'm not going to do a song and dance for you guys. It's not typical where I could, show you a slot. I mean, I do have a slot machine here. It's behind this board over here where I'm going to write the stuff down as to who is going to be number 1 through 36. I want to try to get something going where we do the top 36 players for a fantasy football draft. So I need your help for that one, right? And the notification is being sent out right now as we speak that I am live. It only took them 2 minutes for them to let YouTube know that I'm live. But anyway, I've been doing fantasy for many years now with this group that Dan Grill, he's the league secretary, and he runs a really good league. His son is in it, his daughter's in it, and all their friends, and even a guy, Leonard, who I went to school with at St. Mary Magdalene, he also actually would do the draft in his backyard in Eastlake. So big shout out to you guys. Thank you for keeping me around. There's been a few years where I started out not doing so well. I can remember drafting a kicker like in the 5th or 6th round or something like that. And they've constantly given me, grief for kicking or picking a kicker so early. And I got a Gravy Maine just stopped in and said, hi, Gravy Maine, welcome in. And I appreciate it. And I just really, have to live down that legacy that I have of not knowing what I was doing. But since then, I've gotten pretty good. I actually won 1 year recently, and I've had 2 last year. I came in 3rd or something like that. I've always been in the top 3, making the playoffs. Somehow I managed. Last year I had Jamar Chase I had the first pick in the draft, and I had Jamar Chase as my stud wide receiver. And then what sucks about being number 1, it's a snake draft. So let's say this is number 1 and this is number 12, right? You got to pick all the way across 1 through 12, and then you got to snake back. So by the time it gets back to you, you're in the 2nd round over here for pick number 24. So from pick 1 all the way through to 24, you're missing a lot of prime players that could be. It's a long time to wait. But I was lucky because when it came back to me, guess who was available? Joe Burrow. So I took him in a heartbeat because I had that 2-headed monster going of Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. And it was a great until Joe Burrow got hurt. And then I had to go for plan B. I had who did I have I had Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield was my backup, and he was doing really well for me for a while. He had, I don't know if you guys follow football, but it's a point per yard. Yes, it is a point per yard. And I was like really, struggling to figure out whether I was going to do until Joe Burrow got back. But fortunately, Baker, early part of the season did really well. And then he kind of came back to earth. But by that time, I already had Burrow back. And, the way it was going, it was a tough decision for a while there on whether I would put Burrow back in there because Baker was doing so well. But once I saw, and then I even had, I think, Joe Flacco over there for a while, because he was, no one wanted him after he was with the Browns, but he was available, so I grabbed him because I was a fan of Flacco when he was in Cleveland, And don't even get me started on this whole Deshaun Watson thing. It's a nightmare that fans can't boo without being ridiculed. I think you have every right to complain if the team ain't doing well. Now, booing or cheering when someone gets hurt, that's a whole other thing. But again, what has Deshaun Watson done, lately? That's what I care about. What is he going to do for us this year? Is he going to help us win? If he wins, if he does well, then I don't care. But it's not cool to boo or cheer someone that's hurt. You pay good money to go see these games. I think you have every right in the world to, talk about how you feel and stuff like that. But this is the Beercan Hunter channel, right? So it's only appropriate that I do a beer can hunt, all right? I went to Red Wine and Brew today, and I ended up picking up 3 cans of beer. These are pretty awesome cans. This is, I can't even pronounce that. Can you see that, guys? Ozatsko. It's Croatian beer. Let's do a shot. We're not doing shots. I'm going to do a beer. This is Croatian, and it's hold on here. I didn't look. This one's got like a malt in it, and caramel, and a little bit of sweetness to it. So I don't know. That's interesting. And then you got this one over here. This is another one from Croatia. This is a common, very popular beer in Croatia. Karlovac. Yeah. Karlovaco. Yeah. And it's over 180 years old. They've been brewing this stuff since 1800s or something like that. 1870 or something like that. So it must be good if it's been around that long, right? This one, I like it because it's a light. It's got not a hard aftertaste on it. That's what they say, but we're gonna find out. And I also got Tatra. This is a Polish beer. I went to that Polish festival a few weeks back. You guys may have watched the video, and there was a beer there called Bosman beer, and it was outstanding. It wasn't too hard to drink. It was really good, but I could not find it. I have no idea where Bosman beer is. And if you guys have any clue where I can find Bosman beer, let me know, because I want to buy that stuff. But I went to 2 different places today looking for Bosman beer, Shoregate Beverage in Woolwich and Red Wine and Brew in Menor. Neither one of them even heard of Bosman beer. And it's hard to find, I guess. If those places that claim to be, your source for import beer and they don't have it, what are you going to do, So anyway, we're going to go with Karlovaco. All right, where's I got my Steelers glass over here. Let's bring it a little closer so you guys can get a good look at the beer. Right there, okay. I was painting all day today, guys. I had to work on, I took the day off from my night work so that I got somebody to fill in for me, and I needed to get the garage painted, and that was a project all day working on the garage in the 80. I used to be able to do that where I could just blow through it, but now I have to do like 2 hours, take a break, 2 hours, take a break. I took 3 breaks, 6 hours of painting that thing, but I got it done. So I'm pretty. I think I deserve a beer after that, right? Hopefully I don't get too much foam here. That looks good. Wow. What do you guys think? Aside from the Steeler on there, I think that looks pretty good, right? All right. The text is backwards. Hold on, let me fix that for you guys. I could turn it around like that. There we go. Is that better for you guys? Can you see me now? Can you hear me now? Okay. Yeah, it's straight. Now, I bet you what's going to happen is it's going to get reverted. Who knows when they edit it, when YouTube edits everything, they may end up flipping around the other way. I don't know. But I'm ready to get started on this, right? I need to. What's your favorite beer? Do you guys have a favorite beer? I like, my Coca-Cola, but every now and then this is going straight into my can collection. I don't even think I want to remove the label that's on there. It's like a nutritional thing. I don't know. I'm not taking that off. I'm going to leave that on there and put that right up in my other collection over here. I do have a beer can collection. I'll show you it right now. This is a little bit of my highlights of my collection. There's my Joe Thomas over here. My Shells, Old Milwaukee. I love these Schmidt cans that have the pictures on them of the wildlife. That was a big thing. And then you got the Iron City 1976 cans. Remember Iron City, how they always did the Steelers? Yeah. There's the Bosman can. I actually was able to keep the can from the festival. This is the can. This is the beer that I wanted for today's live stream, but couldn't find it. So if you guys know where I could get my hands on that stuff, please let me know. Maybe someone that's watching the replay. Remember this? This is the street that was at over there by St. Casimir's, Pulaski. That street is right next to the church. Look at that. That's kind of a bad condition over there. Remember old Froth and Slosh? It was like a put up radio station where they had this woman for the beer. This is Iron City, I think, that put it up. But this is like a Pittsburgh thing where they made this woman the old Froth and Slosh winner of the year or whatever. Oyster House is a place in downtown Pittsburgh where you can actually go there and drink, and they sell this beer there. It's the Market Square, I believe it is. We went there to make a video on a Sunday, and it was closed. So I'm kind of upset with that. But that'd be a cool video for me and Michelle to go back to the Oyster House and get seafood and get a beer there, right? Garage beer. This is the one that Travis Kelce had a hand in, and he's one of the part owners of it. It's not that great. I'm not a fan. All right, let's get to that beer. I think that the foam has had a chance to settle a little bit. All right, let's top it off. All right, let's go. Na zdravia, to good health, guys. Wow. The bitterness in the at the end of it isn't that bad. You know how you get that little bitter at the end of a beer? This doesn't have that there. Oh, look who else is in here. Jay Kane has popped in. Sorry, I didn't see you guys there. And Fat Boy Simon is in. Just went fishing today. You caught a 2-foot fish with my bare hands and just flipped it up on the shore. Are you kidding me? That sounds a little ridiculous that you caught it with your... But hey, who am I to argue with Fat Boy Simon, okay? If you caught a fish with your bare hands, what are you, Bigfoot Sasquatch? Wow. Okay. Garage beer lime is pretty cool, good, but I'd rather have a Corona with lime. Yeah, I can see that. So you're a Corona man. Yeah. My Corona. Yeah, it's got like a little bit of an aftertaste at the end that's kind of bitter, but that's supposed to be the common thing. There's a lot of beers in there that are not even beers. I consider them kid stuff. They got like peach in them and different things like that that are like fruit drinks mixed with beer, and I don't know. To me, that I want a real beer, you know. What are they? IPAs is the big thing now with the younger generation. So it's a good time for a beer. John loves this season. Yeah, this is this is what it's all about. The weather is changing now for the better, in my mind, because it's cooling down a little bit, and that's why I did the thing with the painting today, because it's not too hot. The side of the garage that I painted today is literally on the sun side, and I'm working in the morning at Longhorn where I can't be on that side until I get home from work. It's probably 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and the shade only lasts an hour over there. So by 2 o'clock, you're in, the sun, the baking and everything. And then with the white reflecting off the wall while you're painting, it's like a hotbed of activity all night long, So that was fun, but it wasn't fun, I didn't hook any. What is this? Hey, whatever you do, you have fun doing it. I don't care how you catch a fish or whatever you do. Just going out and fishing, and not even if I don't catch a fish, just the idea of fishing is awesome. Okay, just to be able to go and relax with your pole, and I'm trying to get Michelle to join me, but I'm not going to force her to go because that's really not her thing. She likes to do the indoor stuff, and I've always liked being outside. And if I could, I've gotten bitten up so bad with the mosquitoes. I've gotten bites all over, but I'm all right. It's all part of it, But those fly things that I bought from all that, they work. I can actually deter the flies from getting onto my food when I'm eating. I ate out there today. Michelle made spaghetti with turkey, ground meat, and she put some peppers in there to spice it up. And I sat there with those two fans going, and not one fly or even mosquito bothered me. And that's a cool thing, guys. All right, so now that we're relaxed and we're having a good time here, let's talk about who you think is the number one pick in the draft. If you had to go with anyone, I want you guys, if you guys have an idea of who you like for fantasy, who would you think? Now, I have 3 players that I think are worthy of the first pick in the draft. Jamar Chase, I had him last year as my number 1 pick. Okay. But there's 2 guys that are Bijan Robinson. He's with Atlanta. Now, I don't know how he's going to transition with the new coach, Kevin Stefanski, but he's definitely someone that would be considered first pick material. And also you got Jamari Gibbs from the Detroit Lions. He is definitely a clear-cut number 1 guy. And with the offense that Detroit runs, and you got Amon St. Brown or St. Cloud or whatever his name is for wide receiver, they're looking strong, okay? They're going to run the ball a lot, and, you got a strong offense to go over there. So that's definitely someone that I would consider. I have the 3rd pick in the draft, and I did that on purpose. I had the choice. Someone already chose the 2nd pick in the draft. I did not want to go back to number 1 because I don't like that long gap between the 1st pick and then the 24th pick. So I went 3. So someone's going to go number 1, and I won't have any say-so over it. But what do you think, guys? Do you have a guy, Deshaun Watson? Don't say that, please. That's scary just to think about that. I don't care. If you guys have any favorites, I know a lot of guys like Dallas. I got Mark from Pennsylvania Low Roller. He's a big Dallas fan. And you got CeeDee Lamb over there, but he's ranked for wide receivers. He's not the top wide receiver. So I don't know. It really is dependent upon what you guys think. I'm trying to, just figure that I would probably end up, here's the thing, Jamar Chase tweaked his leg today in practice. So that kind of puts me a little bit of pause on picking him as the first guy. So I'm going to go Jamari Gibbs. Gibbs, number 1. And then probably Jamar Chase, 2. Now, that would be not my pick, but I'm probably end up going with Bijan Robinson, 3rd pick. Okay, so there you go. We got our list started over here. Now, do you guys have someone that you would recommend going number 4? Let's see what the fantasy book has to say here. Another running back that is considered top tier is people like to pick running backs right away. Oh, did you hear ESPN has created a Fantasy Football Hall of Fame? There's 2 inductees into it. You guys know who those inductees are? Any guess? Anyone? 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 Randy Moss and also Jamal Charles. I guess Randy Moss had like 3,000 career points for fantasy over his lifetime. So I guess that puts him at the top. Okay. Christian McCaffrey is right there. So I would say go with him. Christian McCaffrey. And then you would want to probably go wide receiver. I don't know. After that, you're looking for, if you're old school, you want to go running back early. You got to look at the other guys like Devon Arcane. Jonathan Taylor is a fan favorite of mine. I'm always partial to the Colts. He signed a 2-year extension too. So he's also, James Cook is another guy that I like. But he wouldn't be later on. You wouldn't pick him this early. You got Ashton Genty from the Raiders. There's James Cook at 7. So you're going to grab him quick or you're going to lose him. Let's go ahead a little further here and check out the... Did they just go right past... Okay, wide receiver section over here. You guys are just in. T. Higgins for Cincinnati is up there. But you don't want Puka Nacua as a guy that is hurt. He's got a groin issue. But you got to go with him. Puka Nacua. I had him a few years ago. He was hurt 2 years ago. And it was just a constant struggle to put a lineup out there. And he only played like 8 games that year. So, and Nico Collins is a guy. Drake London. I don't know. I want to probably at least go 12 over here. But you got to figure St. Brown. I'm on St. Brown, 6. Seven would be, it's either wide receiver or running back at this point. You don't go quarterback this early, at least not in my book. You wait until, unless you really want, Joe Burrow right now. I don't know. You got to look at the big picture. You don't want to end up losing one of those guys that is going to get you a lot of those fantasy points. Even with that, you want to wait a little bit on, I would probably go Jonathan Taylor at this point, Jonathan Taylor. Okay, time for a beer. I got 7 picks in, and you guys haven't helped me at all. What the heck's going on with that, dude? Okay. Good. Do you guys have any ideas of where Fat Boy Simon, if you really did go fishing, and I'm hoping that you did you go somewhere around here where I could go also, or what? Or were you just having fun with me? You know, I would love to get new ideas of places to go fishing. You know, there's a place in Painesville called Healy Park. It's on the Grand River, and we've been getting a lot of rain, so now's not really a good time. You don't want to go fishing in a river when the water is, you know, shooting through it at a high rate. So I don't know if that's such a great thing to do that right now. But if it calms down, I'm going to go check it out. Maybe this weekend I will go to Healy Park and try my hand over there. Have you guys hit the thumbs up yet? Probably not. There's only one thumbs up over here, and yeah, I think you guys can do better than that. I think there's a list in here that tells you the breakdown of where did I put my glasses. Oh, it's like a game log. Cool. This is a cool book. I like this. This is what I'm using. I'm going to have this right next to me during the draft on Saturday. But they give you a big sheet that's got 1 through, I don't know, 200 of all the top 200 players. And they got it all broke down for wide receiver, running back. But there's a number to rank them by position, by offense, and then by overall. Like where they would stand in the big scheme of things and where they stand in the scheme of with running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, that sort of thing. Yeah, see, the Detroit Lions are the team. You got Jared Goff at quarterback, and Teddy Bridgewater was their backup, but he retired, believe it or not, so he's no longer. That should be taken off. You got Isaiah Pacheco as a backup to Jamari Gibbs. So I don't know. And then you got the Packers over here. And you got your Jordan Love at quarterback, Josh Jacobs for running back, and Christian Watson for wide receiver. Can't tell you I know much about those guys, right? But Jordan Love looked good last year. I think he turned the corner as a quarterback and showed that he belongs. C.J. Stroud for Texas. He had a down year last year. They're hoping that he'll bounce back a little bit. And David Montgomery, I think he's hurt. I don't know if he's actually playing or not. Don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. Indianapolis Colts is another team. Daniel Jones. Who would have thought that Daniel Jones would be a quarterback considered to be a franchise guy? Because when he was over there for the Giants, he was not good. He sucked. And so it's kind of like him and Baker Mayfield have kind of mirrored each other, where they both started out the same year. And I remember Baker Mayfield always thought of, as Daniel Jones as a joke, didn't like him. And he was clear that he thought he was a joke. But they're both guys that I know that Daniel Jones got the contract and Baker Mayfield didn't. So there's a chance that Baker Mayfield might be available for the Browns next year if they don't re-sign him. You guys have any feelings on that? Would you like to see Baker Mayfield return to Cleveland? I don't know. Okay, let's go back. We got to pick the 8th guy over here. So far, we got Jamari Gibbs, Jamar Chase, Bijan Robertson, Christian McCaffrey, Puka Nacua, Amon St. Brown, and Jonathan Taylor. I don't even think I would consider a Brown, not until the 3rd round at least. And with Harold Fannin is the only one that I would think of. You got KC Concepcion, who's a riser. He's a rookie, but he's I don't know how quickly I would take him until he shows that he can actually play with Deshaun Watson, Okay, we'll go Nico Collins. Nico Collins, 8. Okay. You got to go with CeeDee Lamb at some point, right? And I'm thinking James Cook at 10. Justin Jefferson for Minnesota. This is good for me because I'm actually, it'll help me get focused for when I'm there and to do this the right way right here. So this guy at 12 is going to have back-to-back picks. So he's going to probably go, I don't know who the guy is, but this is what I would do. Okay, I would end up taking a running back and then go, like, let's say I already know that I'm going to have a running back. You want to pair it with another, because you're not going to be able to pick again. So you want to make sure you get that running back that you need. Arcane is probably the guy that you would go there. Arcane. Now, if you're the type of guy that likes running backs, you may end up taking another running back just to boost it because you want to make sure you got that. So he's probably going to go Henry, Derrick Henry. So you got that two-headed monster going for 12 and 13, right? So this character over here has Jamar Chase. No, this is the guy, Justin Jefferson over here. So he's going to be looking to get someone to go with him. You got to look at, who does Jefferson have as a quarterback, right? Where is this all in alphabetical? I guess it is. Okay. Who is Minnesota's quarterback? Kyler Murray. Oh, God. No, I would not take him. No. At this point, if I was him, I would make sure I had someone that would. So right now, this guy is here. So, hey, Jamar Chase is right there. This guy would want Burrow to throw to him, right? So he would take Burrow. Then you got the two-headed monster of Burrow throwing to Chase, right? Number 15 is right there, and he's got the running back, so he needs a wide receiver. So you got to look back at the who is the best ranked wide receiver at this point, right? Let's find that answer right now. Drake London, he's available. So we're going to put him over there, Drake London. Why don't we do that? London. There's 16. So number 16 is Christian. We got Christian McCaffrey. He needs a wide receiver, or maybe he's going to think outside the box and go tight end possibly, right? Trey McBride is a stud, so he's going to go there. Okay, McBride. And there you go. Time for a beer. We got 16 picks in, right? Are you guys enjoying this? No? Okay, sorry. I'm trying, okay? This is my Charlie McCarthy. I was a big fan of Charlie McCarthy growing up. And this is actually it was a bottle of Jim Beam, actually. And the hat, I'm not taking it off because I'm worried about breaking it, but the top is in there. You just unscrew the lid. And there you go. Now you know the rest of the story, right? Isn't that nice? If you didn't know, Charlie McCarthy and Edgar, what's his name? Oh, God. He was a really good ventriloquist. We went to this thing last weekend at the Music Box Supper Club for an illusionist. This guy was good. He had these tricks where he was hiding a card, and I don't know, it was good. The video is coming out this Saturday. We went to Shooters down in the flats, on the west bank of the flats, and expensive, guys. I had a fish fry. It was $21 with 3 pieces of fish and coleslaw. But it was good. But $21, really? Wow. And, you know, it doesn't come with fries. You got to pay that extra to get the fries to go with it. So Michelle ended up going with some kind of salad down there, a pecan salad. She didn't think it was that great. It had cauliflower in it, so she liked it for the fact that it had cauliflower in it, but not something that she would say, oh, I got to go back there again. Not at those prices. We were down there because I wanted to try it out. Machine Gun Kelly is now part owner of it. So back in the 80s and 90s when Shooters was the thing, that was the place for people to go watch rock bands and stuff like that. Now, rock is dead, more or less, for the younger generation. So they'll have rappers come in and they'll be performing on the stage on the outdoor patio, rapping away. So that is how you try to get younger people to come back to the flats. You try to entertain what they like, and that's the rap industry, I guess. So I don't know. It is what it is. That's the way it is. Rock is definitely on the way out, and it's sad to see that Dolly Parton passed away, and today Tim Curry passed away. So I'm going to finish this beer in honor of Tim Curry from Rocky Horror Picture Show. He was also in Clue, one of Michelle's favorite movies of all time, Clue. Good. Good. Very refreshing. Again, this is a Croatian beer, Karlovaca. Not bad. One of my best friends, Mike, and his brother John, they're Croatian. So this beer is going out to you, buddies. Now, I'm probably not going to get into the other beers today. That'll be for another live stream, right? Now I'm going to rinse my can out and put it up on my shelf. Yeah, this actually has a sink in here, believe it or not. This will be added to the beer can collection, guys. This channel is new. Let's be honest with you. I only have 230 subscribers. I don't expect a ton of people to come in and watch because it is a new channel. But I do consider you guys friends. The fact that you're here with me today on kind of short notice says a lot about you guys. It means a lot to me that you're supporting my new channel over here, the Beercan Hunter. I have a lot of ideas of new content that are involving exploration of abandoned buildings. And I'm really looking for, I did one that's coming out Friday. There's a Denny's over here. It was a Denny's for many, many years. And until 2008, it became abandoned. And the city was actually going to tear the building down. And a company came in, Wycliffe Florists. I always think it's Wycliffe Floral. And they came in there and saved the building from being torn down. But this year, Wycliffe Floral is no more. They are gone. And the building was up for sale. And believe it or not, someone bought it. And that makes you wonder what's next for that building. There's a good chance that that building might get, to me, something needs to go. It's a very good spot right next to the freeway. They're building a Circle K right next to it. It's almost ready to be opened. So it's a good thing for the city to get something in there because the next door to that is an abandoned McDonald's that's been vacant since probably 2004. So you got two buildings right next to each other on Euclid Avenue that are vacant and have been. It's a bad look when you're coming into the city and the first thing you're hit with is two abandoned buildings. Okay, Wycliffe, Joe, Sackage, let's go. Let's get something in there, man. Let's make this place rock. He's been doing a lot of good things, especially that OLA. Used to be the bowling alley down the street. I think I may have taken you guys down there a few times to show you that place. But that's now LA. So finally something is getting repurposed here. Now they just tore down the Bailey Meters building. So who knows what's going on. But across the street, there's a new housing development. They tore down the old school over there. Lincoln Elementary got torn down. And they're putting up housing, nice houses. Their minimum price is $250,000 on them, I believe. So, no, I did not make my shot. I missed. Okay, but yeah, they're building up the area. But I'd like to see something. I don't care what. Just get something in there that will generate some activity for the area. You know, the city's trying. They're trying. But in the meantime, I wanted to make a video of it to document it so that we have it for history, you know. I like that kind of thing. I actually, we were doing a carpet job in Niles on Monday. And we were driving through Warren to get out there. And there was that old Ponderosa on Elm. That some of my first ever videos of a Ponderosa were right there on Elm in Warren, Ohio. So I'm like, hey, Michelle, let's go there and check it out and see what has become of the Ponderosa building in Warren, Ohio. Maybe, just maybe, something new is in there. Wouldn't that be cool? And even if there isn't anything in there, maybe, just maybe, I could make a video about the abandoned building. Well, guess what? It's been leveled. There's nothing there. It's completely gone. No Ponderosa. But across the street is an abandoned Burger King. So I might have to go out there just to do the abandoned. It's a big one. It's a big abandoned Burger King. They had the, you know how they used to have the play areas and stuff like that. So I'd like to check that out. But that's a thing of me. And then I also like to follow the Browns construction of the new stadium. I got to get down there maybe later on in September and do a follow-up. I want to show you guys Cavs practice facility that's down in the flat. Well, it's up by the river on the Collision Bend area over there. That was actually where the casino was supposed to be built. I don't know if you guys knew that. The land that Dan Gilbert bought to put the casino in Cleveland, his dream over there, that never came about. So now he built the practice facility. So if the Cavs ever go under, they could use that building to put a casino in there. How cool would that be? Okay. I don't think that's going to, okay. But anyway, I've been rambling for 45 minutes over here, and it just feels like 10 seconds. Are you guys doing this? Well, I see that someone gave me a thumbs up, so that was nice of them. Thank you for whoever gave me that second thumbs up. Awesome. But I got to go. I'm getting tired. I have to get up early tomorrow morning. I did not want to stay late with you guys on this one, but I do think it was important to get this fantasy football top 16 players for my fantasy draft this weekend. It helps me get my mind focused on it so I could have a plan when I need to actually make my choices. And I do appreciate, wow, there's a 1,000-legger on the wall over there. Holy shit. Oh. Yeah, I bet you that was the one that was over there. I don't like 1,000-leggers. I don't know if you guys are fans of 1,000-leggers, but I am not a fan of 1,000-leggers. Centipedes and spiders, they're supposed to be good because they help kill ants and stuff like that. But, no, I don't like any of them. Okay. On that note, I'm going to wrap it up, guys. Thank you for being part of my second ever live stream, Beercan Hunter. And hopefully we can do this again. Adios.